Good evening, everypony, and welcome to Commentary is Magic stream on today, Sunday, August 27th, 2023. I am, as always, Grandpaws.
Big cheese.
Arquette is kill. And
Ivory Starlight is slightly less kill.
No kill, not allowed, only splee.
I found
Only
a meme
splee?
about that earlier today. I don't know if I can link it.
The dog meme. Yep. It's alright. It's okay to be tired following the crazy weekend that we had just 2 weekends ago, which some of us are still recovering from. But it sure was a good time. Continentals is always an enjoyable time.
It's an experience.
It is an experience, that's true. Some years it's a slog, other years it's a surprise. Every year there's something unexpected, though.
Some year it blows by so fast that you're not sure what happened, other than you are now holding a bronze medal for some reason.
Mm-hmm. Because sometimes Luna just, does Luna things. And goes vrr, 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 vrr. But it's been years since that happened, so. We had 2 major tournaments at Everfree Northwest this year. Yes, Luna makes the noise vrr, 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 vrr. That's the sound of a Luna. Cheese, please confirm this is the sound of Luna.
Yep.
Why is Cheese the Luna person?
Doesn't Cheese have the giant Luna plush?
I do have a giant Luna plush.
I
Yeah.
also have a giant Luna plush.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
why isn't Aura the Luna person then?
Ara, please confirm the noise that Luna makes.
Luna doesn't make noises, she gives derisive glares.
No, see,
Fair.
Ara's the Nightmare Moon person.
Ah.
I mean, it's true, I do collect the baddies.
Are we the baddies?
No, we're the goodies.
Are we? Are
I
you,
mean-
Cheese?
Yeah.
Cheese is definitely a baddie. Am I a
We-
baddie?
we run good-
Probably.
We run good decks. That makes you a goodie.
No, it makes me a baddie. No, I was a goodie this time. I ran a good boy.
You were a
You did-
traitor.
You did run a good boy. The bestest boy.
But let's hear about these events. We
right.
know one of them. What's the other one?
So Continentals obviously was great. And first off, before we get into the events, thank you to everyone who came out. We hope you had a great time. It was great to see so many of you out there. It was also great to see, if anyone happens to be watching, everyone who showed up for these Learn to Play events that we had very light staff scheduled for, and then completely overwhelmed the room. That was...
We were not prepared for success in that way.
Thank you, but oh my god.
Wasn't
Yes.
prepared for this.
Correct. We did not, in fact, gain 1 AT at the start of the face-off. But it was still very cool to see. The first event we ran at Everfree, though, which had a good turnout, was our Harmony event. We haven't run a Harmony event as part of a sim tournament since... Boy. We didn't run it at VPE, so it must have been... When did we last run Harmony?
Are you sure? Because I'm pretty sure it was VPE.
Did we run
No,
Harmony at
we-
VPE?
Was it at Babs? Babs is normally Adventure, but we do Adventure Primary and then the core side tournament. Maybe it was
Right.
VPE.
Maybe it was. Okay, well, it had been well over half a year.
It is entirely possible that the last one we ran was January 2020. So about 1 million years ago.
Jeez. That's true. And in a show of incredible performance, but not quite so incredible that you were more incredible than everyone else, we had a 5-way tie for first. Barring tiebreakers.
I mean, that sounds like a healthy and balanced meta to me.
5 different decks with 5 different mains.
Unit wasn't all vinyl and mod.
It was not. In fact, there was no mod, and even more surprising, there was no vinyl.
How
That's
is
not
that
surprising.
surprising?
The most surprising result.
The fact that there was no mod is actually a little interesting, but I suppose we've got better ways of farming now. No vinyl is expected. Come on. It's like we banned her or
I
something.
want to draw more cards.
Well,
That's too bad.
I would argue that one of the decks is not either of those, Bugle.
yeah. Hey, in fact, I would argue the winning deck is not that. Do
The
we
rest
have-
of the decks, however,
Oh, sure. The rest of the decks are complete degenerates, but, is to be expected. VPE 2020 was the most recent Harmony event that we ran. My god. So yes, in the before time, in the long, long ago. I think I was still trying to make Bubbly Mare work.
Yeah, that was the tournament that Diamond Song showed up with the Trader, Novo,
And
And
Meadowbrook's
and
Meadowbrook's
Meadowbrook's Mask.
That's right. I do remember that. Well, do we have the deck list handy so we can take a look at least the first place finishes?
Yeah. So starting with 5th place.
Yes.
I think that's what I just did. Yeah.
Is Mono Purple smart?
Jeez, you're running your 4K stuff again, aren't you?
of course
Cards
he
are
is.
tiny.
It's
What are
great.
these cards for ants?
It's so pretty.
Okay, how much
Big-
of this is shiny? Can you shiny this entire thing?
No, you can't shiny the New Dawn stuff or the were there foil sticks made? I don't remember.
No, but we've got the Continental stamped ones. You can't shiny Star Swirl Research, and you can't shiny Frozen. And obviously,
Disappointed.
obviously Levitation is out, and I believe everything else is possible. Oh no, wait, the Starlight.
Starlight. And the
And the
Flash Beam.
Yes.
You can make a lot of it shiny though.
Hey, anything from Print and Play can be shiny.
This is true.
Yeah, that's a fair point. You want to?
You're willing to buy the foil.
What do we need to say here? It's Twilight Antisocial Farm. It's been a mainstay for years. I still wish I could go back and remember who first brought this back, because I know it was discussed, many, many years ago, close to the start of the game. But I would be interested to find out.
This has been kind of a thing that Harmony has since Premiere, right?
Not Premiere, but there was like a the Candelot Knights Luna, the one that discard an event, I think, to get more power. There's been Antisocial Farm since her, at least.
Right.
Yeah, like she was the first time that happened. You couldn't really do antisocial with her because the stuff you needed to get her to flip was kind of insane.
Oh,
Yeah, but that was just
it
because
was like
early
nearly
game.
anti or something.
Now there was a way to do it full antisocial, but this I think didn't come around until more recently because the real power that this gets is out of all the events, and you need enough troublemakers to make it worth.
So many troublemakers.
Not
Yeah,
enough.
yeah. Premier Twilight Farm would have probably run Ursa Vanquisher because, of course.
I mean,
Sure. I still love the fact that one of the first cards that was ever released for this game continues to be competitively viable 10 years later. See, power creep isn't a thing. Right?
Yes, it is. You know how I know?
Because look,
There's no yellow Parasprite.
Well, that's a fair point. There would be yellow Parasprite in here. Anyway, congratulations, Bugle. 4th place.
it's a burb. But not burb.
You might sit there. You might look at this staff and these epic troublemakers. And you might say, aha, I know what this is. This is a Seleno farm deck.
You'd
You
be
are
wrong. This is a control deck.
This is a control deck.
Is this only 2 cards different?
2 epic wins and didn't even swap any of the epic troublemakers over, and problem deck didn't change at all. Yeah, I think this was more Pancake just sitting there deciding that they wanted additional practice with their core deck before going into Continentals, and then said, all right, fine, this is close enough.
Yeah.
Still did okay.
Because what happened is that deck list was printed out. It's very obviously the core list with some stuff scribbled out. Just be like, I'm changing some numbers.
We will get a chance to talk about the true version of this deck more later, but
I think this is actually a 49 card list.
is it?
I know it's 48 because that's a 3. The numbers may be slightly wrong on this, but it's close.
You could argue that this is a farm deck since 2 of the control cards were dropped in favor of 2 farming cards.
He
Yeah, you're right. This is a 48 card list here. Yeah.
Okay, I probably transcribed it correctly then.
Yep. All of those control tools do quite a bit, and we'll talk about that more here in a moment. So we'll save that for a format that maybe was a little bit higher competitive level. Although this one was not bad. Number 3.
There's some good decks. Like this one.
Yeah, I like this one. This is the deck that we should always run.
Degeneracy.
It's Pile.
Are we?
I mean-
Are we back on the shenanigans of every pony shuffling is too bad to run in pile? Are we back on that?
We're
Yes.
so back.
It's pretty bad, honestly. Like I don't like it in the list anymore.
It just doesn't score enough points.
See, that's scary because that used to be the mainstay of this deck, and now we're just like, you're not good enough.
I almost wonder if it's better to just run Gyro instead to get the events faster.
Or something.
It's possible. I mean, clearly the correct answer is to just unban Penny Lane, and then we can run the Penny Lane Doctor Who session again.
Yeah.
Oh, well, if we're doing that, then obviously just drop DJ, drop... Yeah, I like that better. Let's just do that.
So what's fun about this is you don't need any cards in play in order to go off. You can
Explain.
You can banish 2 Cloud Chasers to get the color. This is so on your opponent's main phase. Like, they're in their main phase. They spend some AT. They're at 0 AT now, or like 1 AT or something. You banish 2 Cloud Chasers. You play what is this card called? Breaking the Barrier. And now you can, like, if you have some Twilights, you can play them, and you can start playing the oh, you do need to play at least one friend out, because you do need the pink. But past that, you just need to play your surprise parties.
Your Skystar, just have one of the shells still alive.
Yeah.
That's generally the hope, but
Yeah, Breaking the Barrier is significantly worse than Sonic Rainboom when it comes to Trixie combo. Because Trixie has to play a lot of cards.
this deck
And
doesn't.
This deck does not. This
Also-
deck has to play Pile and Surprise Party.
Also,
And
the card you play draws you more cards. So, like,
You don't care about having to discard cards because you'll have more.
yeah.
Didn't we like ban some cards over that once upon a time? I think we did.
But the deck was not undefeated. There were 2 people playing it, and one of them made 3-1, and the other one went 2-2. So Pile is fine.
Yeah.
It's at a good power level right now. Just if your opponent plays Skystar and then does nothing else for a few turns, you just know what's going on. That's all.
You
That's all.
best hope that you have brought pile abuse.
If
Or
they
stick-
if Skystar names blue on trading traditions and does nothing, you know exactly what's going on.
Very
Yeah.
true.
And a super important card in this deck is Pipsqueak. Like, drawing... It's like the vinyl replacement, basically. If you can get
Okay.
him in your opening hand,
You keep the hand
then it's just like, yeah, it doesn't matter what else is in there, you keep it.
Okay,
because
but think for a
Eager's
moment.
so good.
What if Vinyl and Eager?
That would be amazing.
I mean, yeah, if you want me to only run this in Harmony forever, go ahead.
What is that? Yeah, it's
Sadly-
like turn 1 Pipsqueak, turn 2 draw 1 card, flip my main, draw another card.
Ugh.
So
Gross.
I drew
I'll
4
keep it.
cards turn 2
Please no.
for 1 AT.
Thank you, Cursed. Okay, number 2. I like this one. This is one of my favorites. This thing is wild. Look at this. Look at this pile of cards.
What does it even do?
There aren't enough
This-
one-ofs, it's not combo.
So, I'm gonna make GP explain this because I'll fumble over what this actually does.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm going to do it too, but I'll give it a shot. My understanding here is that you are using your events to protect a Flash Beat Queen, to prevent it from being challenged by you or your opponent, banish like a billion cards, and then when Flash Beat Queen finally has enough power and points, you put a Raptor Razor up there to be able to fight it with a power advantage, or use a Queen Novo to fight it with a power disadvantage, and then close the game off or close the game out almost entirely in one shot.
Yep.
Is Pipsqueak here just so you can make the challenge when your opponent isn't expecting you to?
That is exactly what Pipsqueak is there for.
Funny.
Oh, that's funny seeing Remix Master here.
Looking at the resources. Oh, yes. Pipsqueak is also there in conjunction with Lead Pony Badge, so you just exhaust Flash Bee Queen, and then Flash Bee Queen can't contribute. That's amazing. I missed that.
Does Lead Pony Badge really let you exhaust?
Yeah.
It does, doesn't it? I hate
It-
Premier cards so much.
It used to
dude.
let you exhaust problems.
Yep.
It also runs Yellow Parasprite and Ursa Vanquisher. This deck, this is why I love Harmony in theory, because you end up with stuff like this where if you were to go to someone in Harmony and tell them, hey, what are you playing? And you're saying, oh, I'm playing a purple, blue, yellow, white deck.
that
with-
wins in one turn but isn't technically combo.
Yep. And still runs Yellow Parasprite because, hey, what do we say? 10 years later, Yellow Parasprite still wins games?
Something like that.
Only 2 Singing Barrels in the entire... Yeah, you got 3 Rush Makeovers. Don't sit there about the Singing Barrel thing.
And trading traditions.
And Trading Traditions. This deck was brewed like 2 days before the tournament. This thing is a masterpiece, and everyone should be very proud of it.
All decks that are brewed before a tournament starts end up looking like this and are always amazing.
This is just hilarious. And Daring Do poster granting you just like a billion AT. Oh man, this is great. I love this. We've never had anything like this before. This is not a deck that has even come close to existing previously. This is brand new, unexplored territory. I love it.
I think this is... We were speculating about something like this, but this is taking this to the logical extreme.
Sure. we had messed around with Raptor Razor and Queen Nova for Flash B Queen, but that was more in like adventure or core. We certainly didn't consider doing this in Harmony and not with lead pony badge in there too. That is just incredible. So
The lead pony badge is chef's kiss.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff, y'all. All right. First place.
The Harmonator.
The Harmonator.
Because they'll be back. That's why.
The
Wow.
OG Reanimator is back.
There's a main we haven't seen in a while.
Get some Discord piles, some redeeming qualities, get some Royal Family, and the Orchard Blossom. We got almost the full suite of reanimation tools. Almost. No plus ones, no in my heads.
Why?
I don't
We've got
think you
better
need
tools.
them.
Yeah, the
Right.
old stuff's better.
Right. And then we got big stuff. We got some Evil Twins. We got some Icings. We got some Lunas that make Luna cry. Why is Luna... Actually, that's very flavorful. Princess Luna is Dream Warrior Luna's worst enemy. She's her own worst enemy. Endless Friendship. We got Bodyguards. I'm going to give him crap about that here in a second. In fact, I'm going to do it right now. Okay, Pages. Congrats on first place. How do you sleep at night? You of all people complaining about Bodyguard, which is completely fair. Bodyguard is just a infuriating card. And then go and run 3 copies of it.
Because
you did it last year too.
No, this is perfectly reasonable.
Because you know it's good.
If you're gonna let the stupid cards exist, run the stupid cards until they don't exist anymore.
Correct.
Yeah.
Stop complaining. Start abusing.
I guess that's fair. Pancake says, is this the first deck to cost more than a farm deck? No, this deck does not have nearly as many ultra rares.
Yeah.
You've got a main, a Lasso Champion, 2 Catajacks, 2 Miss Mains, and then you don't start getting into ultra rares until you get to the Tricorns. Then what?
And Chrissy.
And then
Pinky Sense.
one Stolen Talent in the Pinky Senses.
Not a cheap deck, but
Not cheap.
Well, that depends. Unless you're buying that. How much was that thing? $1,500 on eBay.
13. For the record, please don't do that.
Don't do that.
Please do not sell your Pinky Sense. I don't even know if it was a promo. It was a promo, wasn't it?
It was a promo, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the promo ones.
Please do not sell the Non-Continentals Pinky Sense promo on eBay for $1,200. Just send us an email. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we don't want it being that much.
But yeah, Reanimator does Reanimator shenanigans, and it turns out when you have access to the best versions of those cards, that it's probably going to perform well. So, there were other names that were tossed around for this deck, but Harmonator ended up winning. But many of the other ones revolved around Lasso Champion, because Lasso Champion is a farm killer. So, that's pretty fun. Coaster, I'm selling mine for $200,000. I don't have one. It's fake. All of them are technically fake. They're all print in place.
Rigged. It was rigged from the start.
Okay. Diverse list of top decks in Harmony. Different strategies. Really cool stuff. All the colors were present. Great, awesome Continentals. This was it. This was the big one.
The biggie.
The biggie.
So
biggin?
Cursed says Harmony's in a healthy place right now.
Your definition of healthy is questionable.
I'm tempted to agree.
So maybe. The reason I will disagree here is I think people were having fun. I don't think they were doing like murderous tier optimization. Because I think if you do bother optimizing Harmony, it turns very toxic.
I don't know. Did you look at that Flash Beat deck? That was
it's
pretty
fun.
well tuned.
It's funny. It's good. but I still think that if you're going to sit there and hyper-optimize, you're going to end up with a much less healthy meta.
I mean, that's fair, and it's probably part of the reason that we'll never return to Harmony as the format for Continentals, because when you're playing at the topmost competitive level and have access to every card, then the fun starts decreasing and the murderous intent starts increasing.
Where's my absolute lockdown control deck in Harmony?
Because that's what happens. When people have months to prepare for this at the topmost competitive level, it's just, okay, no one is allowed to have any fun. And in
Except
this case,
you.
Right, and in this case, everyone could have fun, so.
Only you won't. When you run a deck like that, you usually only have fun for rounds 1 through 3 and maybe 4, and then you hate yourself the rest of the time.
Also true.
So what I'm hearing is Nightmare Tournament next year? Okay.
I guess before we get into the Continentals, it's worth mentioning that we also had a little bit of madness that occurred in between Continental Swiss and Continental's top 8.
Madness.
We made.
Did we have a big old storm?
Ara got sand to dream.
And it dreamt up some stuff.
Some of you may have seen this stuff being posted in the Discord about once a day by Bugle.
See, I'm just annoyed because Nightmare Galactic Warfleet hasn't shown up yet.
That card is ridiculous.
I don't know. That event was really something.
Chaos was a blast, though, a magic blast, if you will.
No, it was not. It was a complete disaster, exactly as we intended.
Right. It was good. There was a good amount of rule shenanigans and a good amount of, what was the phrase?
Figure it out.
Figure it out. Judge, what does this card do? Figure it out. Judge, how do I resolve this? Figure it out.
What's it say? Just gotta read the text.
Yep. Yeah. All right. Now, Continentals. We had this year the highest attendance we've had at Continentals since 2020, where we did not run the Continentals, but we ran the online thing.
Yes.
But we hit a hard 16, which was great. We had some new players come out, which was great. And yeah, I mean, let's just dive into it here. We'll be taking a look at the top 8 decks. There were definitely some upsets and some matches that would have been interesting to see that maybe we didn't get, but the ones we did see were pretty unique. So let's start with 8th place.
Scary monsters.
And nice sprites. No, just scary monsters.
Yep.
If I remember correctly, this is very, very similar to the Grogar deck last year that Feathers ran. Except now we have Garble. And Garble's kind of a house.
Garble is definitely a card.
Apart from that, Grogar starting with 4 power and getting a fair amount of disruption when you need to between Melted and Apple Bloom and all your other events, and then just a bunch of extra flips thanks to Big Hoof. It's a cool list. This is not control. This is not a control deck masquerading as a farm deck. This is a farm deck that knows exactly what it's about. Did anyone here get the chance to play against this?
Who was running it?
I played this round 1. It's fast. Getting Apple Bloom down early is definitely annoying to deal
She's
with.
so strong. Yeah, I don't think I played against this.
Yeah, solid, straightforward. While it's a bit strange to think about a farm deck as being easy to pick up, this one is so single-mindedly focused that if I was recommending a deck for a new player going into a tournament to run, this might be up there. It performs well and has a straightforward game plan, and you still have a few tips and tricks that you can optimize around, but otherwise it's just good. It's just good at what it does.
I believe this was Minty.
Yes, this was minty. All right, let's take a look at number 7.
Cadence
Yes.
go fast.
Okay, Work's making funny noises at me.
Tell it you has a bucket because this is your deck.
I
And you
has
has a bucket.
as a bucket. I enjoyed the one incredibly rude play with Gallifin Solar Stream. But it's cadence. It does cadence things and tries to go fast, but it doesn't go fast enough to deal with the semi-combo decks.
I mean, it went fast enough to get top 8. Gallus' Silver Stream is just so good.
I have a question.
Yes.
Why are there only 2 pipsqueaks?
I do not know.
Because I took the list and didn't bother optimizing it.
That's fair.
I mean, you could probably drop the DJ for a 3rd pipsqueak if you really wanted to.
Yeah, you probably could. And a 3rd blindfold was also suggested.
I think particularly in the meta we were in, DJ doesn't help a lot. Like any of the other top 8 decks, do they really care about DJ?
No, DJ was mostly there to deal with either Reanimator, which was doing, decently well, or
Yeah.
to deal with the Still Partying combo.
Yeah.
Hithrock says drop Discord. Sus.
Yes.
That's a little sus.
Discord is essential against farm, and also this deck is in Coward mode right now, which is fine because 2 copies of Rules Technicality is not correct, but I still think 1 copy is correct here, just to be able to find it when you need it. And you know what? You'll still get hosed by it. The deck will find a way to have that happen.
Or you could just not run it and not have to worry about it, and Discord is exclusively there as an anti-farm card, so you just side it out if it's not farm you're up against.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
Coward mode.
Why does Twitch keep blocking these? Whatever, I allow them as I see them.
Coward was not a permitted term.
Neither was crazy. Neither was crazy.
Coward is a permitted term on this stream. It's a permitted term every time we talk about this deck.
We're talking about the problem, right?
Yes.
Yeah, where we discussed that problem is bad and shouldn't be run except in control.
100% coward mode here. Mama raised a chicken.
That's fair.
Scootaloo.
Still a good amount of disruption, though. Bugle talked about the hasty eccentric 1. What he neglected to mention was the hasty eccentric 1. Also, this is free because I messed with you earlier.
Yeah.
Also, banish this. I was like, I forgot. I put a Griffin into play. Let's banish this stop fighting that I played earlier to make this free.
Yeah.
You
I
can-
understand why some people refer to this deck as mid-range. It does play like an aggro deck, but it has enough disruption that you can pivot your game plan if you have to.
Yeah, what it does depends on what cards it gives you, and naturally enough, it's going to give you like a series of mid-range cards when you need to go fast.
So what you're saying is it's a mid-range deck with bad draws?
Or an aggro deck
And-
with bad draws.
I,
It's very temperamental because it can do two different things, and they don't really help each other, I guess, which is kind of the definition of
well, but
mid-range
I
to
think
me,
they
which is-
do, like, your tempo bits do make you go faster because of Gallus and Silverstream.
Yep.
They can.
And I think you're
But if
also
you're-
running the when you frighten a friend
Yep.
move. Yeah.
No, like in theory, if you get the right things out, they will synergize, but there's not enough contact between the two of them, or just pure single-minded purpose like a straight aggro deck.
Yeah.
Yep.
I found a lot of success with this deck. It was what I was considering running, basically up until like a few days before we announced or something.
Mm-hmm. I would still be.
We all knew that you weren't going to end up running this, though.
I didn't. I was convinced he was going to run it. But we'll get to the decisions that she's made that he has to live with for the rest of his life now. We'll get to those soon.
It's
All right.
technically the next deck.
Bugle said, I wish you had.
Next list.
Totally
Okay.
ordinary innocent deck.
There are mismains. There is no innocence here.
Miss Main is not the baddie in this deck. Once again, Rainbow Dash proves herself to be worse pony.
All
Yes,
she wanted was to eat her lunch.
Lunch
Rainbow,
breaks and yeah.
Rainbow taking time to become a tubby wubby pony waifu is not acceptable.
Not when you're doing it to get like 3 turns in a row.
But I like my turns.
Deck is dumb.
This one I think was Hithrock.
Yeah.
Is this has this changed at all from the list that we had?
No.
Let me check. I think we ended up because we were different, but I think
No.
we ended up exactly or
Your two lists were exactly the same,
yeah.
but they were slightly changed because of the inclusion of Into the Stream of Silence and a second copy of Lunch Break.
Oh yeah, lunch break used to only be at 1.
It should be at 3.
Burn the mismain, burn the lunch.
Bugle says this is the most MPE deck he's played against since Tantibus.
I don't know about that.
No, so here's this deck's motto. Your turn, comrade? No, our turn.
Our turn. This is Starlight, once again proving that all things should be equal. And Starlight is even more equal than everyone else. Is that our turn?
Hithrock, you funny individual, you.
Is that our turn in Cyrillic?
Pretty sure it is, yeah.
That's amazing. We've seen the Miss Main combo list be at the top of the rankings over the course of the last year. It's done well. This is merely an optimized version because it turns out that the single best thing you can do in the game is not to gain extra AT or to score extra points. It's to take extra turns.
That action economy.
Because that gives you cards, AT, and points.
Correct.
Hey, guess what? All 3 of those are things you generally need to win.
Yep.
it's great. You're sitting here just being like, just gaining 1 billion AT isn't efficient enough. What if I could gain turns?
Life is so grand in our turn. Amazing. And makes your opponent die due to boredom. Look, this is, if anything, the single most courteous deck that exists in core right now, because you are giving your opponent the excuse to go take a bio break in the middle of the game and knowing that they are not missing anything.
Okay, it's a meta game polite, like.
Correct. You seem tired. Why don't you take a rest for a little bit? Go take a quick power nap. I'll wake you up when it's your turn again.
You never going to be your turn again.
I think we also had Pages write a parody song, "Wake Me Up When This Combo Ends."
Yep,
Yeah.
that definitely happened.
There may have been inspiration for this somewhere. I think that was actually Harmony, but still, it's great. Anyway, let's go to number 5.
Same main.
Yeah, but this is a farm deck, I think. Yes.
This is, in fact, a farm deck that is still playing around with Flash B Queen, because I guess when you find something amusing like that, why not go for broke?
This is using the Princess Celestia with Spirit Siphon the way that Spirit Siphon is supposed to be used. Not the I gained 16 AT.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah, just.
Oh, you mean intended to be used, not. Okay, because those are different things.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yes, this one was entitled "Celestia Gets Off Her Throne." Because, yeah, Royal Tutor is going to find some stuff for you, and Raptor Racer's going to make a lot of burbs, and Restricted Section's going to be real big.
Bugle wants us to say the deck name, but I don't actually know what the deck name is.
It's Celestia Gets Off Her Throne.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yep.
This was a very confusing deck the very first time I played in Swiss to play against.
How so?
Well, I just hadn't seen it before or anything that worked like that.
Because you're
So figuring out exactly what you need to save resources to counter and whatnot.
Farming deck that doesn't rely on the main is different.
Well, this is that thing about the element of surprise, because you show up with this and it's just like, I have no idea how to deal with this.
Yeah, you'll figure it out by the end of the tournament, but...
Oh, yeah. But those first couple of turns, first couple of matches, you're going to be sitting there just being like, check this out.
Yeah,
and your opponent's just going to be like, what's going on?
The anti-farm cards in what I guess the deck doesn't have a name, but in the deck I ran, did help a lot against this deck.
Sure.
But you have to save them until the actual Flash B thing.
Into the Stream of Silence and
moving and everything
Yeah. Into the Stream is actually very rude here, because if you play an Into the Stream when your opponent challenges the Flash B Queen and they're going to win, they defeat it and score nothing.
Yep.
And then their entire game was for nothing.
Then they play another Flash B.
Rude.
Yeah, but then multiple turns have to pass again.
Yep.
Yeah, shuts off Plenty of Shadows Free Friend as well. Yep. And then, some disruptive events, like you said. There's Worn Outs, and there's Levitation Meditations, Betrayeds, School Shutdown if you absolutely have to reset. Clever Calculator, Meticulous 2 is still good. And then look, 3 Tranquility, everyone's favorite card.
I play Pot of Greed. I mean Tranquility.
Look, Purple took a hit for several years. Purple is allowed to run 42-card decks.
For now.
For now.
What's the other card that you're also...
No, that's it. Just 3 Tranquilities.
Oh, after you sideboard, yeah.
Hithrock says that now he's going to be declaring tranquility in Yugi's voice. Do it.
You have to
Yeah,
explain
if you don't
exactly
do
what
it-
it does every time you play it.
If you don't do it, I'm upset now.
There's more text on this than there is on Pot of Greed, so the Yu-Gi-Oh explanation is going to be like 2 minutes with at least half a dozen cuts back and forth between the two characters. Yeah. Curzon said there's room for improvement in this deck as well. I'd be curious to see where it goes, but still, it's neat to see new tactics like this work their way to competitive success. So, very cool. 4th place.
I like critters.
Do you?
Do you like turtles?
No, I like critters.
I think specifically you like snakes, bunyips, and for some reason Fluttershy.
Fluttershy has birds. Birds are helpful.
Fluttershy is cute.
I don't know what else to really say about this other than Thorax really enjoys having a lot of critters in play.
Yeah, Bugle mentioned this. There are 4 different Fluttershys in this deck. I didn't realize how prevalent Fluttershy is here. Arguably, this is a Fluttershy deck.
Aren't there 5?
No, there's only 4.
We've got Fluttershy, or we've got Angel in Fluttershy's body, so let's call it 4.5. And then she's on Unsat, and she's on Adoption Options, and she's on Scary Story, and she's on Spooky Ruins.
Yeah.
Adoption Options is definitely a card to...
Of all cards.
Yeah, it's one of the cards of all time.
When Adoption Options came out immediately after Core Rotation, it was maybe overcosted in some people's minds for the value that you could end up finding. You could still get a couple of these things out of it. You could get a Trihorn Bunyip, and you can get a Brian, and, Guard Geese was fine, and Gummy, I guess, if you really had to. So it was, fine. The number of viable tutor choices now is much broader, but forget variety in choice. Forget that for a second. Your choices are Trihorn Bunyip, Birds of a Feather, and Antoine. Unless you already have one of those in your hand, and you still might take a second one because I just want to pull my hair out every time I see those 3 cards in my opponent's hand.
I mean, I
Well.
think you generally just always take Bunyip if you don't already have all 3. The other 2 are where you might not grab a second one if you have one in your hand.
That's fair.
Well, the key thing there being Brian, because Fluttershy is very cute. She's also a removal magnet.
Krenko does Krenko things.
Yeah.
Yes, she is a removal magnet, and yes, Brian is definitely helpful to have available to protect that.
Yeah. Brian protecting, also serving as resource removal, and like Bugle points out, Bad Hair Day potentially being a free friend in play that also has Swift is not terrible.
So you don't always pick those 3 critters, but the fact that one card can grab you all 3 at once is kind of amazing.
It has been really interesting seeing the development of Mono Yellow as it's progressed, right? Where we had Mono Yellow that was originally running Nurturing Nature and relying more on Day Shift, and then that switched over to Thorax, and it still switching back between Nurturing Nature and Thorax, and now we're back on the wide critter plan. It's just so wild. Thorax is such a good main.
I know. Everyone agrees except for one of us. Who will never agree out of principle.
Thorax is a powerful main. How about that? Is that better?
Correct.
All right, light hissing. That's fine. I'll take it. Thorax is dumb, says C Pancake.
So I will say, if you want to beat this deck and make the person playing the Thorax main be very concerned about how they're going to do anything, do what Pancake did and just play 3 Grogar's Lairs.
Yeah, that'll do it.
It's like, okay, well, every friend I play is going to be frightened when it enters play.
Lol.
But yeah,
Speaking of Pancake's deck,
Pancake, you have exactly 5 seconds to type how this is not a control deck. Go.
Just type it is.
impossible challenge.
All right, 5 seconds have passed. Let's explain how this is a control deck.
Okay.
You have ended up escaping it eventually. A true control deck wouldn't have let you escape.
Okay, we have 3 Wrath of Gildas, we have 2 Chaos Magic Blasts, we have
Hold
2
on.
Stop Fightings.
Hold on, back up. Start again with the first thing you just mentioned. The very first thing. What was it?
3 Wrath of Gildas.
Okay, it's a control deck.
No, that just makes it a deck with board wipes.
3 of them. That's not findable by Pony of Shadows. You can't even make the argument like you normally do, where it's like, oh, Catajack is a board wipe, but it's just there because it's something I can find with Pony. No, you have to invest action tokens into choosing to wipe the board, and you want to wipe the board so frequently that you have included 3 copies of the card that allows you to do so in this deck. This is a control deck.
I mean, okay, so you're telling me that Cadence Pink or Cadence Blue is technically a light control deck because it runs Wraths. It's also going to.
It runs 1.
It does run 1.
There are many decks that have included 1 copy of Party of 1 back in the day. It doesn't make every single one of them a control deck, but it does mean that is an indicator of a deck wanting to do control-ish things. When a deck runs 3 copies of Party of 1, I defy you to tell me it's not a control deck.
I mean, I can tell you that. I might not have a straight face on when I do so.
It might be a bodyguard combo deck.
All right, let's count the not control cards.
Okay, Plushie Dash is not a control card. Skipping Class is technically not a control card, but it does allow you to refill your hand. Also,
Plush Dash could be a control card if you also happen to be running 3 of the Rainbow Pirate.
Yes, but you're not.
Because he wanted to run all Hasty Friends.
Rainbow Laser can be used in conjunction with Staff to guaranteed frighten an opponent's friends, so I'm going to call that a control card. Grogar's Lair is a control card. Sonambulous Blindfold is a control card. Motivational Speeds gives you access to Pink, and Pink is a deck where Pink is a color that has removal. Therefore, Motivational Speech is a control card.
I like this logic.
Staff frightens. It's a control card. Troublemakers prevent you from confronting your problems. They're all control cards.
Yep.
I've never seen a dog pile happen over audio chat.
But it's okay. He agrees now. It's a silver bullet. Wrath of Gilda is not a silver bullet.
Yeah, that's a...
No, Wrath of Gilda is not a silver bullet. Wrath of Gilda is a dear grid square.
Help, help, I'm being attacked.
Or more of a to whom it may concern.
Wrath is against Thorax. I completely agree. I'm not saying Wrath is a bad choice. Wrath is a great choice. After all, you need ways to deal with your opponent going wide on their board when you're playing your control deck.
The win con is still farming, though. We should make sure people who are listening know, yes, you are going to be farming for your points.
Yes.
The one Flash Beat Queen is kind of funny. It's like, if you get this, you can just use all your control cards so that it gains a bunch of points available.
Pancake admitted he scored fewer than 5 points by farming Troublemakers across all of Swiss. That's impressive. It did not apply to the top 8.
Because it's actually an aggro deck.
Yes. It is not. It is not an aggro deck.
Okay, so all the friends are hasty.
All of the friends are hasty.
So
Skipping Class
decks...
lets you refill.
So you have to remember that this deck has 8 points available to it if it finds all 3 Tempest Shadows, just because of the main.
That's fair.
So it's actually combo?
What is this?
You know what?
The entire metagame block.
This is a deck. That's all we can say is this is a deck.
This is one of the decks of all time.
It is it's the entire metagame block all at once.
Deck. There you go. There's the name. It's the Silver Cannon. Pancake confirmed combo player.
Rip.
One of us. One of us. Well done, though. Spectacular finish. Really cool. The silver bullets in here, well, we kind of joked about it here, are actually very impactful. I was watching the game that he was playing versus Minty, and was running through the possible lines of play in my head, and got completely taken for a ride with the Changeling Distraction. I was 100% certain that was going to be a Grogar, and it was not. Or no, I was 100% certain it was going to be a Winterzilla, and it was not. So that was very well played. Yeah. All right. Words we never thought we'd utter when talking about Continental's top 2 decks. Hats.
It's a hats
Say
deck.
the second word. Say the second word.
Hats? No, it's just hats.
Hats combo.
Hats.
Hats combo.
Now, Flitter rigged the prize wheel.
Flitter did in fact rig the prize wheel.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is that Flitter has now done more things wrong than Rainbow Shine.
Didn't she only need to do one thing wrong for that to happen?
Yes.
Well, 2. Oh.
Oh, that's right. Rainbow Shine can still do B-suit shenanigans. For those of you who have not seen this deck actually play out, the basic idea is you're going to find your 3-card combo. You're going to find Endless Generosity, you're going to find Outrageous Outfit, and you're going to find Spontaneous Song and Dance. And you might sit there and say, but there's only 3 Pinky's Presents in this entire deck for me to be able to draw cards. That is correct. That is because 1 copy of each of those cards, along with, let's see if I can remember what they are, a Delaying Tactics and an EEA Council, are in your sideboard. And you see that very angry looking rarity in the bottom right of the deck list, glaring at that piece of paper? She's very angry, and she's hunting. And she will find them. It will happen.
She has a very particular set of skills. Mostly, making dresses.
Yep. Being able to use a number of white rec cards like Sweetie Belle and Stellar Flare and the other Sweetie Belle to use Sandbar and Yona's power boosting alongside Spontaneous Song and Dance, making a bunch of Earth Pony tokens, and then Endless Generosity enters play and plops in an Outrageous Outfit, and then copies it for all your friends. And then you score somewhere between 12 to 15 points, based on how many you've already scored. It is incredibly efficient. It is fast. It is consistent because of latest greatest. And perhaps most impressive of all, and something that still lives rent-free in my head, is the fact that the deck correctly runs Delaying Tactics. And I have to wash my mouth out now.
Why does it run Delaying Tactics, Grandpaws?
Because Delaying Tactics is a 180 dilemma with white requirement. So it creates a new problem and gives one of your characters +2 power and only costs 1. And everything else on that card does not matter.
And yes, I have a picture somewhere of Bugle sitting across from me with 15 marvelous chapeaus.
Only 15?
You don't need any more.
Gotta go for the full swing.
Delaying tactics too good. Must ban.
Yes, delaying tactics is the card that we're concerned about here.
Yes,
Clearly should have hit that instead of surprise concert.
I agree with this.
Very efficient, very fast, incredibly fast, in fact. Yeah, was a good combo deck. Okay, let's go back to best combo deck.
Best, quote unquote.
But do you know what's better than 15 marvelous chapeaus? The answer is, in fact, 4 extra turns.
5 extra
No.
turns.
Can only go up to 5. You can go up to more if you run the third lunch break.
No, you can go up to
8?
I thought it was 9.
No, it should be 8 because you can copy.
But the problem, and so you have two. You have two.
Two copies off Magic Instructor and 1 copy off Recipe Research. So that's 3 additional copies per instance of lunch break played. So that's 8 turns total. 8 turns total. Because you can't use Recipe Research more than once on the same card.
Yeah, and it's 9 turns in a row because
Right,
of the starting turn. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the combo decks played the game it was actually supposed to be played with you confronting a problem. This deck said, nah, we're not doing that.
This deck has Luster Dawn.
It confronts.
It
does.
confronts sometimes.
I had games where like half my points were from confronting.
Remember, you confront from time to time.
Yeah, combos aren't for chumps now. And you spend your AT all the time, too. Terrible. I know we already talked about this thing to death. There's one card in here that we haven't really mentioned that is low-key sleeper, like, ridiculous. Can we talk about alternative solutions for a second?
What card is that?
That's the first one in the problem list there.
Oh.
That card is so good.
Oh, yeah. It's nice. It's an extra point.
And yeah, I think Cursed actually wins best quip of this entire stream. The con schedule included an hour for lunch break, and I thought that was probably a bit excessive until I saw this deck actually get played.
Large oof.
Large-sized oof, indeed. Well, congratulations, Cheese, on a successful Continental Championship.
Thank you.
Congratulations to everyone else who played and fought so fiercely. Only to sit there and watch your opponent take all your turns. Or win with 15 marvelous chapeaus.
I'll take the latter. I never had to deal with the former.
Now
That's
you
fair.
all get to wait to see Pancakes create a card.
Ah, yes, that's right. Congratulations to Pancake on winning the create a card.
Will it be a control card or a farm card?
This is true. Or it could be a combo card as we've
or even aggro, like.
Yep.
Could be
Pancake's a wild card. He plays everything, everywhere, all at once.
In a single deck.
Pancake more combo. Look, if it's in blue, are you really going to complain about it? You have the chance to do it right now. You know you love your blue decks. It's just another Thunderlane.
Okay, so I have a...
Has every color won Continentals, technically, already?
Okay, so I've got a great idea for the create a card from Chaos. Right, everyone's familiar with Full Steam, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
4 power, 4 cost, vanilla. Well, the Chaos event had a a card, a very interesting one, 50% Steam. So I think I know what the create a card needs to be. It needs to be burst pressure, which is what happens when you double it instead of half it.
4 cost 8 power entry. Sure.
We
Or
have
two cost 4 power, which we already have with Prim Hemline.
we have a 4 cost 8, but not vanilla.
No, we do not have a 4 cost 8. We have no 8s.
I thought we did.
We have a 4 cost 7.
Yes, Red Delicious.
Yellow has still not appeared in a winning Continental's deck. That's, well, are you counting non-Continentals? Yeah.
It mostly counts. Mostly. It wasn't the Continentals we wanted.
It was ran as tier 2.5.
Was not counting non-Continentals, no. Fair enough. So where does this leave us now? Events for the rest of the year. There will continue to be online things, of course. HithCon is coming up at the end of September, and then Ponyville Cider Fest in the week before American Thanksgiving.
November 15th, I think.
Yeah, it's right around
there.
Right around that time. What's going to happen to the game in the meantime? Stuff. Probably.
The invitationals.
Oh, right. That thing.
The thing that we're in?
The thing that we're in, yes. Meticulous Talks is running the Invitationals tournament again this year. You may have seen numerous announcements having been made in the Discord talking about what the custom ban list is going to be for this year. And you might say, ban list? What's that? Well, go read the announcements and make sure to follow Meticulous Talks, because in just a couple of weeks, you're going to be inundated with digital gameplay videos. And yes, one of the matches is indeed going to be live. Spoilers, it's me. It'll be fun. And we'll see many competitive players competing for months and months and months.
You guys actually can knock out a good chunk of the top brackets all at once in like a matter of 2 days.
Yeah, but Hithrock complained and said there wasn't going to be time for it, and also doesn't want to build 4 decks in person, to which I respond, you're making me build 4 decks in person, what's the difference? It's fine. Yeah. Also keep an eye on the Discord and Reddit and Facebook and all that various social media here soon, as there's probably a few things that'll be tweaked in terms of card legality based on what we saw at Continentals, which is, at this point, almost an annual tradition.
I mean, it is the place where you expect the dumb stuff to show up.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the culmination of the competitive season, and, you know, if you've got anything dumb in your pocket, you might as well save it.
Yeah. So keep your eyes peeled. There will probably be an announcement in the coming weeks. But for now, I think it will wrap up our discussion on this topic for today. We would like to give a big shout out to all our patrons on Patreon. Thank you so much for your regular support. If you aren't currently a patron and you enjoy what we do, please consider donating, as doing so enables us to continue making content like this and lets you earn some great perks as a bonus. If you have comments or questions you'd like to send our way, feel free to reach out to us through Facebook, Twitter, or email. And if you're a patron, you can also chat live with us on Slack any day, anytime, especially when some of us are staying up till 3:30 doing obelisk runs or playing Baldur's Gate. Jeez.
Yeah.
Finally, go ahead.
You can't object to that, Bugle. 3 times in a row. That's a hat trick.
Yep. Finally, if you're looking to watch any of our previous videos, including tournament recordings, you can find them on our YouTube channel, linked just below the stream. But with all that said, thank you to each and every one of our viewers, both here now and watching this recording later. We are, as always, Commentary is Magic. I am, as always, Grand Paws.
Big Cheese.
Cat and
Thorax. I mean Ivory.
And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Zero
Bye.
hissing.